So, a little disappointed. Today was the day Xenoblade Chronicle 3 came out, right? I've never played this game before. I've never played any Xenoblade Chronicle games before. And I was super excited. It was supposed to be the game of the year, right? It was in the Nintendo Direct, pre-orders, it was a big thing. And I go to GameStop 11 in the morning, even the guy at the GameStop asks, "Hey dude, do you have a pre-order?" Like, "Nah man, I don't." He goes, "You're lucky." What? What do you mean I'm lucky? Well, we only have 2 extra copies to sell besides the pre-orders. And so apparently this game was supposed to be super good, right? Not for beginners, not for Xenoblade Chronicle beginners, right? So, quick review, not gonna spoil too much. I played the game for about 3 to 4 hours, right? So far. And story starts off great. It's about war, just like any other game. It's a cinematic scene of 2 clans or 2 armies colliding with each other, right? And then there's the phrase that says "live to fight and fight to live," which dope, right? So you know, it's a like 15-minute scene. Okay, probably not 15 minutes. It's a couple minutes long, and then all right, you get into this little little battle scene that you're actually controlling by then, right? And it's simple. You go through 3 of them, and you kind of learn the controllers. And oh my goodness, do you learn the controllers? There is a pop-up menu after every single click. I'm not kidding you. There is a pop-up for everything, which I get it, right? Especially for me, I don't know any of the battle schemes. I don't know any of the controls, but dude, it was so much. And it got to the point where I just started clicking through things, right? And which isn't good because I need to know the controls. I need to know what's going on. But it was just so much where I just like, no, let me just get through this. And it got frustrating. So after that, so you follow Noah, you see this little scene, and so far you're following the storyline of Noah, which is the main character. Something with one of his fellow soldiers affects him, and I don't want to give anything away, but that's like a running theme of what's happening with Noah, right? The whole point is the soldiers live, or they give their service for 10 years, right? And after their 10 years, it's called a homecoming, and this is all in the first scene of the game. And so your whole point is you start off as Noah in your first year of service, and then the whole point is to make it to your 10 years and your homecoming. Cool plan. The only thing is, at your homecoming, it's not exactly what you think it is. And then Noah's kind of like second guessing and stuff like that. He's going to challenge it. Like that's the main theme of the game. I'm guessing that's what I'm taking away from the scenes I've seen. And so then you go into the base camp, and it's kind of like Pokemon Arceus, where you have your base camp, and then you go off, all right, go to this section, and then there's a base camp there, stuff like that, right? So that's the main storyline, which is fine. The story's good and all, but it's the gameplay that is a bummer for me. So the gameplay is super confusing for a beginner player, or a beginner to the Xenoblade Chronicles games, right? I never played it. I read through the menus. I skipped through a lot of the menus, which is probably my fault. But at the same time, it's a very slow-paced game. There's an attack, a basic attack that is automatic. So you just stand close to your enemy, and it slowly hits. It's one hit, boom, you wait a little bit, boom, another hit, you wait a little bit, boom, another hit, right? I just wanted to keep pressing stuff so that it would attack. I get it. It's a different style of game, but at the same time, it's just not fun. At least for me. And so you have that, but then you also have these special abilities. You have one special that kind of charges up, and once you use it, it gives the most damage. And then you have 3 other attacks. They're called arts. And depending on which one you do is which damage, and you could combine them with either your attacks or your allies' attacks. And you could stun your enemies, you could daze your enemies, or you could knock them down, depending on which order and stuff like that. So that's the strategy part of it. that's fine. The thing that got me the most irritated is there was a menu or a pop-up screen that showed combo cancel or attack cancel, and it says right when you land a hit, as you're landing it, you use another attack to cancel that first attack, and so you can flow into your next attack, and it says to chain them up. I could not for the life of me figure out how to do this. I tried spamming the buttons. I tried, you could kind of see the animation of something of your attack hitting. I waited for that. I could only get 2 off. So I would hit the normal attack, and then I would hit a special ability, right? And then I would try another special ability, and it just would not flow into each other. And then I would try, okay, let me try to do all 3 of them at once. So I would press, the 3 different 3 different attacks, but it wasn't chained together. It was one attack, you waited a little bit, and next attack, you waited a little bit, and then the next attack. The only thing with that is you get stuck with the auto attack until the other ones regenerate, and it's just so long to regenerate these attacks. And there's no way to speed it up as far as I can tell, and I've tried everything, and I was getting super frustrated with it. And it just makes it seem, at least if you've never played one of these games before, it makes it seem like there's no strategy to the fighting. You just go in there and you auto attack, and you just wait for a pop-up. You wait for your attack to regenerate, and then you go for the next one. Then you go for the next one, right? But there's no strategy. There was nothing for me to, like, okay, I'm gonna chain these ones together, or I'm going to, wait for the enemy to attack, kind of dodge out the way, and then use it, right? It's just, at least so far, all the battles I've been into, it's either you just wait and attack, and then you charge up your special ability and you use it, or you get wrecked, right? There was no in between. There wasn't one where, like, one of my party members died and then I could, pull it off, or I died and they could carry it off. No, it's either it was too easy and we defeated the enemy, or the enemies were just way too hard. And the game kind of tells you, okay, these enemies are going to be a little bit tougher, these enemies are going to be a little bit easier. But even then, it didn't seem too bad. Like, the hard ones weren't too hard unless one of your enemies died, or one of your party members died, and then it just got ridiculously hard. So pretty much I just resorted to running from one point to the next point of the expedition, of the quest, right? And it just, I don't know, this game, I hear it's so good, right? There is one positive though. There's a character called Riku. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's kind of like he's the Yoda of Xenoblades. He's this little character, talks in a funny grammar. He, like how Yoda talks backwards and stuff, he switches up the sentences. This is how this dude, he's super sarcastic, and he's just straight to the point, which I enjoyed. Every time he spoke, I liked. But other than that, the graphics aren't too great for a game in 2023. I get it, it's on the Switch, but at the same time, I don't see the hype to this game right now. And I'm trying my best to get into the game, because I do hear it's a great series to get into, right? I was gonna play the second one, and then I realized the third was coming out, so might as well just play the third one, right? But so far, after a couple hours, I don't see the hype. I don't understand. Again, it's my first time into the series, so I'm gonna give it a little bit more. Hopefully the game picks up, but this is my first impressions of the game of Xenoblade Chronicles. This is my first impression, and so far I'm just not enjoying it. Maybe it's just not my style of game, but I played games like this before. But this one, just it's just the battle combat right now. I can't pick it up, and maybe it's just my fault. But for now, it's just not. It's not up to the hype that I was expecting. So I'm gonna continue streaming it on Twitch. You could follow there, same name as the channel, Switch Onlys. But so far, my first impressions for a gamer who's never played the Xenoblade Chronicles, I would stay away from it right now. Hopefully my mind changes in a little bit, but yeah, I can't recommend this game to beginners, at least to someone who's never played this series before. I can't recommend it because it's very frustrating. So hopefully, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe it is just me, my skill level, but if you guys can let me know in the comments, or or link a video to the combat play or something just to help me out to enjoy it. But I do like the story. I do like it. It's just way too many pop-ups and just the combat is way too hard. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully my mind changes.